hear your favorite NFL legends sharing their stories and insights every week right here on Thursday Night Tailgate with Chris Mascaro and Bob Lazari. Take it away, guys.
It's locked. There's no way out.
And now back with us and making his third appearance on the Cuban Foods guest line is former Major League pitcher Mark Littell. Let me remind you about Mark's background. He is from Cape Girardeau, Missouri. He was drafted in the 12th round in 1971 by the Kansas City Royals. Made his Major League debut with the Royals in 73. He was a relief pitcher and a closer from 73 to 1982 with the Royals and the Cardinals. And over the course of that time, Mark appeared in 316 games, started 19 of them. He had a record of 32-31 with 56 saves and an ERA of 3.32. He pitched in 532 innings, struck out 466 batters over that time. Last year, he was inducted into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. He's got a book out titled On the Eighth Day, God Made Baseball, and we are delighted he's back with us again tonight here on Thursday Night Tailgate. Hey, Mark, Chris, and Bob, thanks for coming back on the show.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, guys. I'm really glad to be here. Always good talking to you guys.
So, Mark, last time we talked to you, you were, starting up a new role as the director of the Winter League in Cuba. You know, we had some,
right.
Some 60 U.S. ball players and coaches heading down there. Talk about what's the latest with that.
Well, we've got it off the ground, and I'm leaving Sunday for Cuba. We've only got one team, which we're just actually glad to have and get down there and see what it's all about. Because the fields are just basically like I kind of grew up on out in the out of the fields, I guess. They only have one lit stadium over there, and I don't know what the hurricane did. It probably washed the streets off pretty good, though. I'm sure about that. But we're going to see what Cuban baseball is all about, taking these independent pro guys down there and having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, talk about the players you're taking down with you.
Well, we're just taking about 4 pitchers and about 7 players at the time right now, so we've only got 11. But the fun thing is about this, we're switching in and out with Cubans on both sides with the players. So we have interpreters on both benches. And so it's a mix and match. And they're going to get a real experience out of this because we're going to be playing 6 out of 7 days. We're going to take the Sunday off and let them view the island and see what Cuba's all about and stay within range, you might say, of Havana. So it's going to be a great experience. I know that. And just to see what this whole thing's going to pan out to be the first time to go around with this. And
Mark is, we're starting to watch postseason baseball now. You had the opportunity to pitch in a couple of postseasons for the Royals against the Yankees back in '76 and '77. Talk about what's it like being out on the mound, in a postseason game when the game's on the line late.
Cold, very cold at that time of the year. But it's a lot of fun. It's just like any other game. I guess there's a little bit more hype about it, and you're still trying to see the mitt and get outs and things of that nature. I think most professionals, when you're out there, act professional, try to get outs and get your guys off the field so they can hit, just like pretty much any other baseball game. But the hype is there, and I know the Indians are playing the Yankees right now as we speak, and it's going to be an interesting series because you got some really good teams out there this year. You got Houston and Boston and the Indians and the Dodgers and the Yankees, and it's a lot of good baseball. So it's just starting too. So it's going to be kind of a grinder.
When you're out there, are you cognizant, of the moment? Hey, this, especially for you, right? As a reliever, a guy that's a closer out in the late, part of the game that, really when you're out there, the game's riding on your arm. Are you aware of that? Right. Do you feel the excess pressure?
Well, to be a closer, see, I actually grew up in Gideon, Missouri. I was born in Cape, but I grew up in Gideon, Missouri, which is a little farming community of about 900 people, and I used to mark for DDT planes, and so I got about a 3 to 5 IQ when I pitch, so that really helped. And so when you go out there, that's the IQ that you want as a closer, especially of let's go. I throw hard, and I got this pretty good slider, so let's see where we go with it. And my focus is on just, like I said, getting my guys off the field as fast as we can so they can hit or actually close that game out so we can, pick up a W and keep it going. And
Bob, questions for Mark?
Mark, it's great to speak with you again. I want to talk to you about, Chris and I had talked a bit about this before the show, about the rigors of a major league season on a pitcher's arm. We're talking about Chris Sale, a guy like today, like up here in New England all year long. Mark, right. We're talking, well, he's given them innings, he's striking everyone out, 200 innings, 300 strikeouts, and in the back of all of our minds up here who've watched baseball for a long time, we're saying, okay, but what's this guy going to have in October? Is this something that you're seeing more and more of, Mark, and something you haven't gone through it? We rave at these guys, but it comes to the point, how valuable are they to their team if they have nothing in October?
Well, you're exactly right, and that's where a good manager and a pitching coach come in. They've got to watch them, especially down the stretch, and hopefully they have enough lead there where they can give them a little bit of a break. And hopefully the other thing is they get enough run support, by the fifth or sixth, seventh inning to where they can, take them out a little bit earlier and watch them and watch those pitch counts, because you don't see as many 200 pitch innings nowadays as you used to. It's a little bit different breed of cat out there, but you're totally reliant on your middle relief if you can, and in a sense, and if you can get to that closer. I always look at it this way: if you've got three starters there doing their job, number 4 and 5 hopefully will fall into place on occasion, and then your middle relief, that's what everything's based on sometimes. And then if that closer's doing his job and doing 9 to 9.5 out of 10 games, get productive, you've got a winning team. There's no doubt about it. And the defense obviously comes into play with that whole scenario. So it's a touch and go with the arm issues, and a lot of teams have had those arm issues with I don't know. It's just there's a lot of things going on out there, a lot of TJs, and a lot of labrums and shoulder surgeries on rotators. So it's a touch and go. You have to watch those pitchers very closely.
And Mark, let me have you look into a crystal ball for 1 minute here. As far as the way the game is, you look at every staff, Mark, it's like at least 3/4 of the staff throws 95 or more. And you have very few quote unquote junk pitchers, that guys that can actually pitch and put together a total pitching thing. Are we going to get to the point, Mark, in baseball where a staff is going to be comprised of pretty much, it's going to be not really starters and relievers. It's guys that can probably go 3-4 innings at the most, but just throw the heck out of the ball.
Well, that's a really good point you made there. It's heading that way, unfortunately, because everything's based on the word velo, velocity now. And, of course, when you get velocity, the ball straightens out a little bit, and those hitters, they can turn around a 98 to 100 mile an hour fastball. That's been proven. And, Chapman, he has his moments to where there's uncertainty out there with those type of guys when they come into the game, and even the starters, they come out there. So I don't know if there's less pitching, when you look at Catfish Hunter down the line like that, and then you look at Maddox and Jamie Moyer who could pitch, they were real pitchers. They could add and subtract through the zone, quite well. And now your command is everything, but the hitters, they're looking for number one fastball out there. And I noticed that they've started to go to more off speed and breaking balls a little bit more this year. Well, not this year, but past 2 or 3 years, along with that big fastball that they've got out there. And if you don't get ahead in the count, that's the other thing. If you're 2-1, the infield's got to back up. You got to protect the married men out there. They better have their cup on because something's going out hard. I can guarantee you that. So we're a nutty buddy for sure. So.
Yes.
Mark, I wanted to get your memories. You were with the Cardinals back in 1979 and I'm from Pittsburgh, and that was the last time my Pirates won a World Series, and I kind of wanted to get your memories of playing against that Pirates team in 1979.
Well, fortunately, when I came over there, I got the chance to close out the Pirates in '79, and I'll never forget this. But I went out there in the ninth, and I looked over, and they were on the first base side of the old stadium, and I looked over, and there's 3 humongous black guys over there, and one just came out of the dugout, and that was Robinson, and he just came out of the dugout and started swinging. There was a guy on deck, and then there was a guy in front on deck, and the guy in front was Parker. Then you had Stargell swinging an 8-pound sledge, and they were going to that song that they had back there, We Are Family, and holy cow, that's the first 3 hitters I had to face in the early season. I remember in '79. Those were big guys, and they went up there to swing the bat. In Pittsburgh, here's the thing about Pittsburgh. If you walked anybody with Pittsburgh, you must have been really bad. Those guys were up there to swing. You weren't up there to walk. I mean, you were terrible. So there's no walking for those guys. They were swinging. And they foul off balls just to try to stay up there and hit you. So it's pretty good stuff. I remember striking out Stargell one day, and I threw him a pitch, and it went down the dirt, and he swung at it, and it went back to the screen, and he was kind of bending over like he always does over there at first, and he's pointing his finger at me. He says, "I gonna get your ass, country boy. I gonna get you." So, I remember that quite well. And fortunately, he never got me. That was good. So I stayed out of I stayed out of Pop's way,
And Mark, you had to deal with a stacked Phillies team at that time as well. Now, this is back when, the Cardinals, Phillies, Pirates, all in the same division back then. But, the Phillies, with Mike Schmidt and Pete Rose was over there. He came over from the Reds. Right. Steve Carlton and the great Phillies teams. What do you remember about those guys?
Well, for some reason, I pitched well against the Phillies. I did give up Pete Rose's National League breaking hit, and Musial was in the stands that night, and I gave up that hit, and it was a broken bat in between the 5-6 hole, and if Ozzie couldn't get to it, nobody's going to get to it. So they stopped the game for 8 or 10 minutes, and Gene Tennis comes out, and he says, "Hey, way to go, big boy, you're in the record books again." and so Gino had about 3 World Series rings on with Oakland at the time, and then they held the game up, and I hated it when Stan had to come out of the stands because, man, what a guy he was. He was a great guy. And but Schmidt and Luzinski, for some reason, I was blessed when they came up to the plate. And it was I actually enjoyed the bigger hitters coming up to the plate because they had the bigger swings, and that was fine by me. It was 1, 2, 6, 7, and 8, and 9 that really killed me sometimes. But the 3, 4, 5 DH I kind of liked, or 3, 4, 5 hitters, that was fine. Didn't bother me too much. So just don't make a mistake.
We let you go.
Let's put it that way. Don't make the mistake. So,
Mark, before we let you go, tell our listeners about your book on the 8th Day God Made Baseball and where they can get a copy of it.
Yeah, I've got on the 8th Day God Made Baseball, and you can go to www.marklittell, it's with 2 L's on the end.com. And I have a signing this week, and I'm giving back $10 to Dickinson State University on the signs on this week, and I'm gonna start doing a little bit more of that. I got a second book coming out at the end of this month called Country Boy Conveniently Wild, and I think that's actually better than my first book. I'll probably go to jail on that one, but whatever. And it's basically all farm stories, and I do have one baseball story in it, but it's the formation of character, my character, I guess, is how I got to be in the great game of baseball, and it's quite a fun story. But you can get it on Amazon, you can get it at Barnes and Noble, and you can get it. Just go to www.marklittell.com and order that book, and hopefully the other one by the end of the month.
Well, there you go. Mark, how can our listeners stay up to date with all the things you're doing by following you on social media?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook quite a bit. I'm not too much on Twitter. It kind of bothers me sometimes. I'm not a Twitter guy, but I guess I have to be sometimes. But I'm all over Facebook and a little bit, and I'm going to get out there and get with it just a little bit more. And, I like to hear the feedback from people on this stuff, and my book's kind of a soul-searching book. I've had a lot of women read my book even, and they say, "Oh, it's such a soul-searching book." I don't know what that means, but, it is, I guess. And it's a little bit about baseball, a little bit about life, and growing up, and why should this country boy out in the middle of nowhere go to the big leagues? And and what's so different about guys. So that's what I talk about, and there's a lot of fun in it. And
there you go.
And I don't jam anybody. I just have fun with it.
Well, Mark, we can't thank you enough for your time tonight. We look forward to the next book coming out, and then moreover, hearing about your experiences down in Cuba and getting you back on the show as soon as we can. We always love spending time with you.
Well, thanks for having me, Chris and Bob. I always enjoy being on your show. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mark.
All right, Mark. Take care. All the best to you and your family. That is former Royals and Cardinals closer Mark Littell. And Bob, that new book, I can't wait to read it. The first one's fantastic. The second one's got to be hilarious.
Like you said, he's got so many stories, Chris. We've had him on the TV show Up This Way. He's very accommodating, as you know. He'll come on anytime and has so many stories and talks a lot about George Brett and things like that. And there's never a shortage of topics with Mark. And we wish him continued luck with these books and love to speak with him anytime he wants to come on.
Absolutely, we do. All right, folks, coming up here in hour number 2, we're going to be joined by Vency Glenn and Mike Singletary. Before Vency joins us, I want to give a shout-out to our friends over at the Gridiron Greats organization. And, folks, please help us support a wonderful cause that's taking care of the guys who left so much of themselves out on the field. Remember, these are the folks that, played back when they still had to get off-season jobs to support themselves and their families. It's organizations like this one that was started by Mike Dicka, the Gridiron Greats, who are there trying to help the guys we all grew up watching and reading about. Please go online to gridirongreats.org to see what you can do to get involved.